Hey guys, welcome to The Sophisticated Scoundrel. Today's topic is about men who stay in bad relationships way too long and what happens to them. Before we get started though, please click down below in the first little section in the info section there, or in the first pinned comment, because I'd love for you to download the first chapter of my book, The Masculine Code. And the first chapter is about masculine frame, which is essential for any guy who wants to get into a relationship or just have better composure with themselves, with friends, family, and even at the workplace. So be sure to grab that down below. Okay, so let's get into it. What happens to guys who stay in a relationship for just way too dang long with a woman that they're not interested in? And I've seen this so much, and it's sad. So here's the deal with this. If you're a guy and and this really is applicable to most people, but especially to men, because men do this a lot. So let's say you're in a relationship with a woman that you're just not attracted to. You know, there's no sex, there's no attraction, you don't get along. Well, here's what happens is, slowly but surely, you're gonna need to you're gonna want to do something to numb that pain or that frustration. And this is where a lot of guys start to turn to the vices in their life, okay? Drinking, drugs, porn, affairs, gambling, prostitutes, all of those things that we consider vices. This is where guys start to turn towards those things. And why do they do that? Well, because you have something going on inside of you, a need that's not being met. Like, let's say with your wife, she just, she's not putting an effort into looking good, so you have that frustration, or she's not having sex with you and you're bottled up. It's frustrating. Or she's acts very bitchy. She's not cooperative. She's not fun to be around. And you're doing your best, but to no avail. A lot of the guys that I meet like this, they've sort of given up. They're basically just going along with whatever she says. She's wearing the pants in the house, and you guys are just browbeaten. Your shoulders are slumped. You just have given up the fight because there's no point, because you can't win. But you need to feel good. You need to have something in your life to, keep you going. So, all right, let's go drink. At least I can forget about it. Or let's go jerk off and watch porn. At least I have a couple moments of ecstasy there, And it becomes this very, very sad existence where it's gonna come out some way, whether you like it or not. And I don't want guys to do that kind of stuff. I don't want you to be in this position where you're having to just eke out these tiny little things for yourself when the rest of your life is shit, okay? If you're in a relationship with a woman that it's not working, you've tried, it just isn't going anywhere, then you need to be able to stand up for yourself and get the fuck out of there if it's not working, okay? Because you don't want to be the guy who gets caught cheating or some scandalous bullshit like that, who develops some really weird thing that you're doing on the side. You don't want to do that, okay? You want to get out of where you are, that shitty situation, make that choice, make the decision, use that masculine strength, make the decision to get out, and then go for what you really, really want. I've noticed a lot of guys get into those circumstances because they're bad at doing that. They're bad at going for what they really, really want. A lot of men, they're taught to make it work, to fix it, to stay in there, to just hang in there. You got to figure it out. And men, we take the burden. When things don't go right, we assume failure and we want to make it right. We are fixers, right? Whenever people come to us, we want to offer a solution. We want to fix the problem. That's just how we're made. And so I think a lot of you guys You want to fix the relationship. Let's get it right. I can do this. I don't want to disappoint. You know, I'm a man. I can figure it out. But a lot of the times when it comes to this kind of stuff, you have to also know when to call it quits. And you have to go for what you really, really want. We're used to putting up with things that we don't like because we're taught to bear the pain. And that's good. It's very good, especially when you're doing self-improvement and you're going through some tough stuff. Yeah, you do need to bear the pain. But when you're in a relationship and you start to notice that, hey, I'm just drinking all the time, or I'm eating a lot, or I'm jerking off all the time. This is, you know, God calling to you like, hey, dude, you're not doing something healthy, and you're using these other things to escape and alleviate yourself from the actual important issue going on here, which is most likely your relationship. You're not dealing with it. You're using these other things to run away from it. So you got to get out of them. You got to understand that it's more important for you to get out and get yourself back on track than to stay with something that's just been dead for a long time. Okay? Because if you don't, it can really start to downward spiral and you can get yourself into a really bad place. It might be temporarily tough to break up with someone, but it's worth it in the long run. Otherwise, you're just gonna drink yourself to death. You're gonna just be stuck in wallowing in porn and all these unhealthy habits, and you don't want to do that, man. You're just gonna get further and further down the hole. I also wanted to say this. You know, one of the things that trying to remember here, like how I wanted to phrase it, because I had a good point that I wanted to share with you guys about this whole thing. Oh, that's right. I had an example for you of a friend of mine, a former friend of mine. We're no longer friends. But let me tell you about this guy, okay? He had a girlfriend for a couple of years, and then eventually he said to me, hey, man, I gotta break it up with her, man. She doesn't do it for me. He said that she was too nice. It just feels very vanilla and boring, and he's like, she wants to have sex all the time, and I don't want to. I just don't feel any sexual attraction towards her. And I'm like, well, dude, and he's like, I've been drinking a lot and eating a lot, and just that's how he was dealing with it. I'm like, dude, man, to just get out of it, dude. You're not married. He's like, yeah, but we've been going on for so long. I feel like it's my obligation to marry this girl. I'm like, dude, you're making that rule up for yourself. There's no obligation. No one's expecting you to do it. If it's not going well, give her the opportunity to go find someone else, man. That's the real courteous thing to do. He said, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll find a time to do that. Well, week after week, month after month would pass, and he wouldn't do it. He'd always have some excuse. Then he started telling me that he's like, okay, I've downloaded Bumble, I've downloaded all these apps, and I'm looking around at girls, man. I'm like, okay, so you break up? No, didn't break up yet. I'm like, dude, so you're not breaking up, but you're trying to satisfy this craving that you have because you're not satisfied by downloading apps and basically swiping on girls. I mean, dude, you're basically cheating. And just imagine if she finds out, or if people find out, you're just gonna look the biggest fucking douche. Like, why would you do that to yourself, dude? Just break it off, man. So again, this goes on for about 2 years of him telling me he's gonna do it. Eventually, the communication kind of stops between the two of us. I think I was the last one to reach out, and then we used to talk several times a week, and then all of a sudden the communication just stopped. And I wasn't sure what the reason was. I thought maybe it was something like a political difference that we had, but come to find out, a couple months later, I see on social media that he proposed to his girlfriend that he was talking to me for 2 years about breaking up with, okay? And then it clicked. I'm like, he didn't want me to find out that he had proposed to his girlfriend because it was be too fucking shameful for him. He knew that I would have been like, dude, what are you doing? And he could not handle that. So he sneakily just left the relationship and then ended up marrying this girl. I don't want that to be you guys, okay? It was I just was like, dude, man, that's like the weakest, that's the lamest stuff I've seen. For a guy to go through all this and not have the guts to just call it off with a woman when he's not feeling it, it's sad. And let me just say this, okay, because I want to be fair. It's difficult. I know that. It's difficult because they're, no one's ever a completely bad person. Some people are, but a lot of times they're not. You love them. You love this girl. You've had great times. You have memories. Maybe you have a relationship with their family and whatnot. And, so there's a lot of things that you love about them. And so to say goodbye, it's not always easy. Some of us are really good at it. Some of us are bad at saying goodbye. But it's more important to have that momentary pain than to live this lie, essentially. So if you're in a relationship like this right now, then you need to do the right thing and end it. Don't sit on the toilet, either shit or get off the pot, because this is just, it's bad for you, it's bad for her, everyone involved, and just think if you have kids and you're with someone that you're kind of you're having kids with them, and now your kids get to see that you're living this mediocre bullshit life with this marriage together. Like that's not something that you want to show a kid. So yeah, I've just seen this happen to too many guys, and so this is sort of a video about just, you gotta do the tough stuff, man. This again goes back to being that masculine leader, and if it's not working out, be honest with her, let her go. Give her an opportunity to do something, and most importantly, give yourself an opportunity to find someone else that you really are into, that things click well with. Okay, it's just not worth it in the end to just put up with this and grin and bear it, because this is one of those things where you shouldn't do that. If it's like physical fitness and working out hard, pushing hard, then yeah, push yourself. If it's some sort of a work goal, then yeah, push yourself. But if you're just fighting tooth and nail for a relationship that's really dead, that's not worth it. So, if you guys have any questions, please drop a comment down below. If you are struggling with a personal matter that you'd like to get one-on-one coaching on, please click the link below and book a session with me, and we will help you figure it out. See you in the next one.